Democrats or Republicans, who have historically been more friendly with India? So right now, the perception is that the Democrats are not friendly with India at all. They are very anti-India, and that perception is correct. But historically, how's it been? Right. So when India became independent in 1947, I think it was Harry Truman who was in power, who was the president of the United States in 1945. He became president. He was a Democrat, and it was while he was the president, a Democrat, that the United States offered India a place, a permanent place in the Security Council, in the United Nations Security Council. The United States made India the offer on a platter. We are offering you a permanent place on the United Nations Security Council, and they did this together with Russia. So America and Russia both made this offer to India. So the Democrats did this, but our great Prime Minister, Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru, declined. He said that we don't want this. You need to put China first. We cannot do this unless China is first given its rightful position in the world. So Mr. Nehru declined this offer, and he said, please put China first in the United Nations Security Council. Then in 1955, when Dwight Eisenhower was the president of the United States, he was a Republican. The United States and Russia again offered India a permanent position on the United Nations Security Council. And once again, Mr. Nehru, Shri Jawaharlal Nehru, refused. He said, not at the cost of China. And Mr. Nehru ensured that China became a permanent member of this United Nations Security Council. India still is not in that position. So we lost the opportunity. So a Democrat offered it first, then a Republican offered the same thing. Then, when John F. Kennedy became the president of the United States in 1961, he offered to transfer nuclear technology to India. He offered this to Jawaharlal Nehru. He wanted India to be an American ally against countries such as China and Russia. So he offered to transfer full-scale nuclear weapons technology to India. And our great Prime Minister Sri Nehru declined. He said that we are not interested in war. We are a peaceful nation. And then 1962 happened. So John F. Kennedy was a Democrat. So historically, Republicans as well as Democrats were very positively inclined towards India. They offered a great deal to India. India always rebuffed them. And that's when the Americans understood that India does not intend to be a nation of any significance of any kind. So they turned their backs on India. They started cultivating Pakistan, and under Nixon, they started cultivating China as well. And so India, by its own doing, by the doing of its great Prime Minister, Mr. Nehru, India became reduced to a geopolitical backwater of the world. Now, today, it is true that the Democrats are very much more anti-India than the Republicans. That's a pattern that we see for a very long time. Even Bill Clinton was very much anti-India. So even when Bill Clinton was the president of the United States, it was very much an anti-India kind of regime. So that's a pattern that we see over the past few decades. But at the very beginning, both parties they both tried to engage India in a very positive and constructive manner. And it's only because of Mr. Nehru's idealism and his desire to be a great moral statesman that this situation eventually happened.